everybody, and welcome along to another brand new video where we've got some more exciting news about Doctor Who Series 12. We've got another trailer today. It's just come out literally for me about 25 minutes ago. It was released, of course, also confirming the release date for Series 12, which is as we absolutely expected. New Year's Day, episode 1 is coming, and we've got a fantastic new trailer to have a look at as well, so let's get stuck into it all. So yes, that was, as I say, the first bit of key news is that Series 12 is confirmed to be airing on New Year's Day. We don't know the exact time of day yet, but I'd imagine it'll be, I don't know, sometime around 7 PM, as Doctor Who tends to be. And then from that point on, that's episode 1, which I believe, we don't know for sure, but we believe is a feature-length episode, which we have got a title for, called Spyfall. For people who don't know, it is obviously a pun on the recent James Bond film Skyfall from 2012. Given that it very much looks like a Bond-esque thriller-type story, they're all in tuxedos and everything, it's got very much a Bond vibe. I'm guessing that's why they've gone down the route of a slightly pun of a title, which I don't mind. I think it's quite cool. I think it sounds makes it kind of sound quite exciting, really. So yes, that's the title for episode 1, which airs on New Year's Day, and from then on we'll be having a full 10-episode series airing on Sunday evenings, every Sunday evening up until I think the last episode airs on the 1st of March. So we've certainly got our first couple of months of 2020 sorted with our brand new fix of Doctor Who. And it's worth noting that it is still on a Sunday. I wasn't quite sure if they were going to keep it with that, but clearly they decided that did work for Series 11, and it does fit the best into the schedules going forward, so they've chosen to go for that route again in Series 12. But yes, along with this announcement, of course, we have got a brand new trailer for Series 12. This was completely out of the blue. They didn't announce this trailer was going to be happening, unlike the first one on the 23rd of November. Clearly it was pre-prepared because there were lots of immediate press releases about the trailer and everything, and people knew that some people knew it was coming, the sort of media, but hadn't told us fans, so it was kind of an exciting surprise to suddenly get a notification and see, boom, there's a brand new trailer, which is really quite exciting. This trailer does rehash some footage from the previous trailer, but also has a fair amount of new elements to it and a few interesting things to look into, so there's certainly still a fair amount, I would say, to try and kind of break down and look at, so let's see if we can do that, shall we? So the opening shot of the trailer is a brand new one again. It looks like the Doctor and co. It looks like they're in their tuxedo outfits. I think it's episode 1 again, which we now know, of course, is called Spyfall, very excitingly. And it looks like they're walking to some sort of big hangar or warehouse or something along those lines. I think we see some shots of a plane a little bit later on in the trailer, so I assume it's got somewhat of a link to that. It's just quite a cool shot, really, with these massive kind of shadowy figures of the TARDIS team and the doors opening wide in this big cavernous room. Looks really, really interesting. Now I find this next shot quite intriguing, which shows sort of the Doctor in some sort of fiery kind of, I've sort of inclined to say like a subway or some sort of underground sort of tunnel, but a very open and very sort of large one in that sense. I don't know quite what's meant to be going on here. I'm sort of, at a first guess, I'd be inclined to say it's this, what we think is episode 2, this 1943, set in World War II, set in Paris in World War II episode and story, and so maybe this is to do with some of the sort of the bombing that's happened and the destruction, hence why all the flames are there. But then fire and destruction is not an abnormal thing throughout Doctor Who, so it's kind of hard to predict exactly what's going to be in it, but it certainly looks like quite a very well shot sort of Eastern looking setting in this particular shot. Now for me, this shot is actually one of the most interesting ones to me, one of the most sort of, I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but it looks very, very intriguing. I mean, instantly on first viewing, I thought that might be a TARDIS console in the middle of it. Looking at it again, I'm not so convinced, but it does look a very interesting shape, sort of console or whatever it is, some sort of central piece. That does, have a little bit of a kind of feel of the TARDIS central console, but as I say, it's probably not that realistically. But you never know, we could get lucky with something like that. The Master's TARDIS, who knows? But no, it's probably not. It's probably just some sort of spaceship setting, but it doesn't look that much like a sort of spaceship vibe to it. I don't know. So it's a very interesting one. You see, it looks like Graham presumably waking up in there, maybe having been knocked unconscious or taken there, given that he's on the floor. That would seem to make some sense, but trying to guess what episode this is from, I just don't know. Then we see one more shot of this weird monster that seems to be smashing through the glass again that we saw in the last trailer. This doesn't really give us anything further of an insight into what it looks like, but still it's quite a cool shot to include in the trailer. And obviously over these first sort of 10 seconds or so is the Doctor going on about there's a crisis, a major crisis, a serious crisis, really big crisis, which is, it's probably somewhat misleading dialogue. It looks like a phone call to somebody at the beginning of the first episode of the series. is given the next little bit of context with this scene of her saying, "Is it a bit French?" Is the "It's a bit French" a reference to episode 2, the one set in Paris probably? I don't know, could it be? But yeah, it just sets up the scene for presumably some fairly big high stakes excitement going on in the first episode or two, which is certainly what's being very much talked up. And based on all this trailer, looks to be very, very true that the stakes are very high. It's going to be a very big and exciting series. And yeah, I think just that sort of initial bit of dialogue kind of gets us excited, but also gives a hint at that to come in the series as well. After that, we have a couple of nice of new shots of the Doctor and co in their tuxedos in this sort of vineyard setting, I'm going to call it, because I still don't really know exactly what it is, but it looks like that sort of vibe. So that, yeah, it's nice to see, but obviously doesn't really tell us anything new, but they do look really, really cool and sharp and smart in those. I'm excited to see a whole episode with them in that outfit. That's going to be really, really cool. But then this next sort of couple of shots and bit of dialogue where Graham asks, "Who are you, Doctor?" And she says, "You don't know me." That's very intriguing. And obviously there's been a lot of recent talk and questions, back from originally from Series 11 about this whole who is the timeless child. It's been very much, yeah, as I say, talked about a lot. It obviously was mentioned in episode 2 of Series 11, The Ghost Monument, and then kind of forgotten about, completely just ignored. But then recently it's been coming a lot more to the forefront, sort of in the last couple of months up until the run of Series 12, about what could this all be about. I've seen some rumours flowing around which I'm really not convinced about, but I'm going to say them because they have been doing the rounds a little bit, that the Doctor may have been, before his first incarnation, or their first incarnation, was a young girl at the time, which is going to be added to the lore of the show in this series, is supposedly one of the rumours. Personally, I don't believe it. I'd be shocked. I don't think they'd do something as ridiculous and changing the whole canonicity of the programme as that, but who knows? I can't be 100% sure, and certainly given the sort of little aspects and the fact she says you don't know me, I don't know, it just implies that there's something that she hasn't told them yet, because I don't feel like there's anything major that they haven't told her. That she hasn't told the companions. They know about regeneration, they know that she's I think they know she's a time, well, certainly know she's from another planet and that she's time traveler and everything, so there's not really anything else major they don't know. It could be just classic misleading dialogue in a trailer, or just nicely cutted dialogue where she's saying you don't know me to some alien or something like that, and before she blows them up or something like that. I don't know, but it sets up some very intriguing ideas. There's lots of sort of brooding shots of the Doctor being quite sort of unsettled, unsure about things that are going on as well, which I think is, yeah, sets up a few interesting possibilities, I think. Now, I've also just spotted a very intriguing shot, a sort of enhanced shot of the Doctor in the TARDIS behind the sort of blue setting that we saw in the first trailer when she says something's coming for me and it's all a bit brooding and moody and we're not sure what's going on kind of thing. Now, they've used an alternative sort of angle of it, or at least it appears to be here, which seems to show her holding something in her hand that, for a couple of frames, just 2 frames, I checked it, is glowing in a bright sort of yellow, almost regeneration-y yellow type colour. And then obviously it fades away and looks like some sort of circular disc with a kind of red sort of button type thing on top of it. I don't know what it is. Could it be significant? Just given the dialogue that's laid over the scene, the way she's looking suggests it might have some sort of significance. Part of me wants to say it looks something almost somewhat, apart from the red sort of button on the top, it looks a bit like the confession dial from Series 9, but then I don't think that really fits in with anything we're looking at going forwards. Part of me also wants to say it's kind of a larger looking thing to the sort of the fob watch from Series 3. Could it be something similar to that? I don't know. But could it be something Gallifreyan and Time Lord related? It's certainly, there's a lot of hints and suggestions that we might be getting something looking more at her past, at Gallifrey, at Time Lord society, something along those lines. So yeah, there's just, I don't know, let me know down in the comments below if you've got any idea what this thing she's holding in her hand looks like or could be. But yeah, I just think it looks quite intriguing, really. So following on from that more interesting bit, we get back to a few shots we've already seen of the Graham and Ryan and Yaz saying we'll be there for you, we're together, we're a team, blah blah blah, the classic generic stuff that you throw in a trailer that's nice, looks good, but doesn't really tell us anything at all. But then we get another nice shot, as I mentioned earlier, this shot I spotted of the Doctor with her sonic screwdriver seemingly chasing a plane. I don't know if they're trying to get on it, trying to stop it or something like that. Again, this is from episode 1, I'm pretty sure, and it's probably the hangar that we saw them walking into right at the start of the trailer. So it all nicely links in together, but again, doesn't really give anything away. Next up is an interesting shot of what looks like could be Jodie on some sort of light lighthouse or something along those lines. It certainly looks like we're on quite a grey, miserable looking beach. Could it be something to do with what we saw the shot with the birds, and that seemed to have a very much a beach setting in the previous trailer that we saw. I don't know quite what that's all going to be about, that story. But yeah, it just looks like quite a sort of moody beach shot, and again a very impressive looking visual, I think, for this particular shot of, yeah, what could be a lighthouse. We get a cool line from Lenny Henry's character saying, "Welcome to the end of your lives," presumably just a classic threatening villain type line that presumably won't go anywhere, but you never know, it could do. Maybe they're all dead and that's what the storyline of the whole series is going to be about, but I think it's unlikely. This trailer then continues with another few new shots of the sort of chase sequence featuring Lenny Henry's character and the Doctor and the motorbikes and things like that. Not really adding too much more to it, but yeah, just a few nice additional shots of the episode 1, presumably, which all looks very, very exciting. We get a clearer shot here of what looks like the very cool looking Skithra, which I believe is the villain from episode 4, potentially, or the episode set in Victorian times. We believe this is Angela Mahindra from the Serial Adventures, who played Rani in Serial Adventures. This is her behind a load of prosthetics and mask, looking like a properly cool, well-realised alien creature for this series, which is really, really exciting. And I think, again, this trailer shows us one of the things that we really wanted to see from Series 11 and didn't, which is lots of great villains and monsters to face for the Doctor to face off against. But whereas it feels like for this Series 12 they've really gone for it in terms of the monsters, and also actually including them in the trailers as well and showing them off, which is really, really exciting and just gets you excited for the series, I think. This shot shows some very creepy looking sort of blue, kind of spotty, scaly type monster breaking out of something. I'm inclined to say this is the same one we saw trying to break through the glass and through the sort of mesh at the start of the trailer and the previous trailer. Don't know what it is, don't know what it's going to be about, but it looks really, really cool. Again, showing a new alien, which is really, really exciting. So then we round up the trailer with another nice shot of the Cyberman, just slightly more movement on his head. Again, it looks like you can see a bit of neck underneath the metal head, which is very interesting. And what could that present as a prospect for the forward episode or episodes they're in this series is very much something I'm looking forward to seeing. And then an interesting line from Jodie at the end here where she says, do you want to come and have a trip in the box? Which could imply another companion, I don't know. It would be very surprising, or maybe just a kind of one-trip type companion like, I don't know, Adam from Series 1, although he's a terrible example because of him as a companion was awful. But that just as an example, maybe they'll be doing something like that, I don't know. But it just, yeah, again, sets up an interesting prospects. I'd be inclined to say that shots from early in the series, but that is mainly a guess. Just from that globe look in the background, looks like they might be in some sort of mission control type room, or some unit headquarters type room, potentially as unit back. That's another big debate. Obviously, a lot of people have been saying that Kate Stewart was supposed to be in this series, so I'm intrigued that we haven't seen her in any of the trailers so far, and it kind of would make me a bit more surprised if she did turn up at this point, but you never know. And so yes, that does round out the trailer. As I say, it confirms at the end of it that it airs on New Year's Day, episode 1, part 1 of a 2-part story called Spyfall. I can't quite tell if the episodes 1 and 2 are going to have different titles, or if it's Spyfall Part 1 and Spyfall Part 2. It's a little bit confusing and misleading in the press release there, but I'm sure we'll find out in due course as to exactly what's going on with that. But yeah, it just presents some more really exciting moments, exciting questions. It just all round is a very exciting trailer, which I think is the difference between this and Series 11, where it was just shot of Jodie, shot of Ryan, shot of Yaz, shot of Nice Planet, the end, and that was it, basically. Whereas for this series, it's all about show us a shot of a Cyberman, a Jadoon, this new alien, that new alien, explosions, car chases, action and excitement, and that's what you want to see to get you really excited about the series, and I feel like they've done a brilliant job of bringing that out in both of the trailers we've had for Series 12 so far. I'd imagine that's probably all we're going to get in terms of proper footage and trailer until episode 1 airs, but of course that's only 29 days away. We're literally 4 weeks on Wednesday is the new Doctor Who. The start of Series 12, which is so exciting. I imagine there'll be a shorter trailer, probably for episode 1 itself, coming maybe a couple of weeks before the episode airs, where you might get a little bit of new footage, but it'll only be from episode 1. And yeah, it just presents lots of real excitement for the series with just a few weeks to wait. So I'd love to hear your theories, guys, down in the comments below. As I said, there's a lot of theories about what the arc of the series could be. The whole something's coming for me, you don't know who I am, brooding shots of Jodie. It's certainly, there's going to be an arc, which is really exciting and something that I really missed in Series 11, and I'm very ready to find out what that's all about. There's going to be 2-parters back, certainly the first 2 episodes. They've said there's multiple 2-parters, so I'm inclined to say maybe the last 2 episodes as well will be some form of a 2-parter, which again adds more excitement. Lots of new and returning villains, and everything suggests this is going to be a much better series than Series 11. So I'd say even if you're still skeptical, at least give episode 1 a go, because everything so far we've got suggests it's going to be great. But that's just about it from this video, guys. As I say, let me know your theories on what's going to be happening in Series 12 and any of the sort of thoughts on the shots in this trailer down in the comments below. But apart from that, remember to hit that like button, that subscribe button. I'll see you again very soon for another one. Goodbye.